What's up, Fumble fam? I'm Brooke.
And I'm Noelle, and you're listening to Girls Don't Fumble, the #1 sports podcast for NFL Girl Talk.
We sift through all the football news so you don't have to.
Let's get into it. Brooke and I decided that we were wearing our jerseys today. I show up, she's not wearing hers.
Okay, in my defense, I texted you and said, should we wear it on the podcast? I'm getting ready. There was potential I'd have to go to the Evan meeting. So I said, let me play it safe, wear a little sweater.
Yeah.
And I packed my jersey in my bag.
Okay.
But I'll never forget the look on your face when you walked up.
Where's your jersey?
I was like, oh, I've made a mistake. I betrayed Noelle.
The black jerseys are new ones because you were wearing a black.
Yeah, I was like, hey, that looks like a sweater. Yeah. Do the players wear those during practice?
Is that their primetime like new edition jersey?
But no, I ran to the bathroom to change. So we were good. And we've established Jersey Mondays at work.
Jersey Mondays.
Which is exciting.
Jersey Mikes as well.
Jersey Mikes.
We get Jersey Mikes on Mondays.
Oh my God, I would die.
That would be
I
good.
love Jersey Mikes. I need to get more than one jersey. This one's going to get, stinky in the heat.
Literally, I just put this on. I'm like, I gotta wash
disgusting.
it. Like, they're not breathable.
Do players play in these exact ones?
Probably.
Probably. They have to make more breathable jerseys. If we can't sit and record a podcast or do our little clickety-clack job, how do they expect them to be performing in like 100-degree heat in fucking like Tampa Bay?
I don't know. I have a new idea for us.
Okay.
If GDF doesn't work, we're making...
Oh, we're going to have
breathable jerseys.
Yeah, you're welcome, men.
Yes.
It's going to be nice and mesh. Maybe some like internal cooling mechanisms.
Yeah, just put some fans in there.
Maybe some like fragrance.
It spritzes every 30 minutes.
That cologne. Oh my gosh. Well, welcome back, you guys. Football is back. You as the fumblers are back. We as the fumblees are back. Mm-hmm. We're so excited. Football is here. Kickoff was today. Noelle, how was your week? How are you doing?
This week was great.
Yeah?
It was a great week. You know that there was some big things happening at work.
Yes. Do we want to share? Yeah, we should announce.
I've been promoted at work, guys.
She was promoted. Okay, say your title.
I'm now a senior account manager.
She's a senior.
I'm a senior. My boss said, should I call you señorita?
Sure. This formerly now señorita Noelle Espero.
Yes.
Account manager. Girls Don't Fumble podcaster.
Exactly.
So proud of you.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I care about is señorita Noelle Espero. Yeah.
Changing the email signature.
Exactly. No, it's been a great week, obviously, coming off of the excitement of that. Mm-hmm. Today was fun at work.
Yes.
The work week was actually winding down a little bit. We have a busy week next week, but Brooke and I, we've been all eyes on kickoff. We've been making a ton of content. A lot of people are excited about our fantasy content that we've been making, and it's been an exciting time. And fall,
it's been a fun week.
Fall is here.
Fall is here. Football is here. Everything is coming together. Yeah. I want to say, before we move on for your promotion, I have a surprise for you.
What? No.
I got you. Wow! I wanted to do a podcast debut, but wait, there's more.
No, stop.
I thought we could do a little toast on the podcast.
Oh my gosh. Wait, this is so cute. Oh my
gosh. Toast to your promotion. I was like, wait, we're not done talking about it. Hold on. I got cups.
Brooke, this is the sweetest thing I've ever received.
Oh my God. Of course. I was going to give it to you
step
earlier.
Up. Not only has my team gotten me flowers, Brooke set up a date for us.
If you guys are watching on YouTube, it just got really romantic in here.
We're going to dim the lights.
Because at first I got you this and I was like, we can't drink this on air because I'm sure you want to like save like a bottle and like
this is also
celebrate.
Not sponsored, so we'll hide this.
Oh yeah, we're hiding the labels.
Yeah,
we're not drinking on camera if that's what you're wondering. But wanted to give you a toast on air.
This was very unexpected. I'm like, thank you.
You're welcome. This was how Maeve found out that we had a podcast because you guys are coworkers named Maeve, and she messaged me on Slack yesterday and said, I'm so excited for Noelle's promotion. Are you guys doing anything to celebrate? And I was like, I think I'm going to surprise her on air with a champagne toast.
Wait, this is so
and
great.
She was like, I didn't know you had a podcast.
I can't believe she didn't know. There are some people in the office, you guys, that know every step of GDF.
Yes.
And there's some people who I think three
people today found out.
Just today. So we're not really bragging that much, but maybe we should just be talking about it more.
We should be getting the word out there. Yeah. And I feel like it's really chill. It's really cool of us that people didn't know.
Yeah.
Should we pop these?
Yeah. But to finish that statement, now is the time. It's football. Yeah. I do feel like just timing wise, a lot more people are watching football content. Prior to today, nobody cares.
No, and
unless you're a true fan.
We started in the off season, which was intentional, and I'm glad we did. It was getting hard with, maybe 40 views on some of the YouTubes. Like, hey guys, maybe be a little bit more interested. We get it, playing hard to get, but it couldn't hurt to support our content a little more.
Maybe learn a thing or two.
Exactly. And now, I don't want to alarm anyone, but we've experienced some virality via TikTok.
Yeah.
And
I think so.
We're feeling pretty good about it.
We're feeling pretty good. And hopefully it doesn't stop here.
Yes.
Let's cheers to that. And thank you so much.
Oh my God, of course.
This is so nice. Are these just twist off?
Oh, I was like, I hope so, because I wasn't prepared for anything else.
Here's the thing, you guys. It was probably one of the hottest days today, so my hands are completely sweating. I cannot open this bottle of root beer.
That was another problem with the champagne that's obviously not chilled or anything. I was just going to leave it in my car all day. I'm like, that will be the most disgusting champagne. So I brought it into the office.
Smart.
Just kept it hidden under my desk. Brought it into your home, obviously. I've just been lugging around. Oh, shit.
You have actually...
That snuck up on me.
This is great.
Party foul.
Okay, you guys, in case you're watching on Spotify or listening on Spotify, these are actual glass flutes.
TJ Maxx, baby.
Oh, really?
They have really good glassware at TJ Maxx.
Shout out TJ Maxx. Not an ad, though.
Cheers to Noelle's promotion.
Oh, looks like you need a little bit more.
I'm just kidding. I'll refill. Spilled all over the table.
Cheers. And cheers to kickoff.
Woo, cheers to kickoff. If you have champagne near you, grab it. Toast with us.
Take a shot, perhaps.
Take a shot of tequila.
Yeah.
If Jason's listening, drink a whole bottle of wine. Whatever alcohol you have near you.
Yes.
Football is here. Noelle is a señorita. And we are happy about this week.
Señorita's in the house.
Cheers
was already a señorita, so I'm just joining her.
No, we're joining the señorita club. We love it. Oh God, it got on my eye.
That's good. Today is really giving Friday vibes, guys, because not only did Brooke come through with this champagne, we also got Kazunori.
Yeah.
And on our latest...
Also not sponsored.
Yeah, also not sponsored, but on our last episode that we did on a Friday, it was also a Kazunori night.
Oh, that's
true. And we
were
drinking wine.
That's how we get the vibes going.
Yes,
Kazu
our Twilight
alcohol.
episodes they need to be accompanied with food and alcohol.
We can't do these with empty stomachs and empty glasses.
Yeah, and in the heat, no ma'am.
No, I'm already sweating. Got champagne in my eye all over the table. We're here.
We just watched the game, week 1, Thursday night primetime.
Yeah.
Chiefs Ravens,
you guys. I guess it'll have been last night. We're releasing this on a Friday, so happy Friday, TGIF. It's our Thursday. But yeah, we just watched the game, and Noelle, what are your thoughts?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to start because a lot of emotions on this game. Because now that we're in, not only are we watching a game with AFC rivalries, you got the Chiefs who are trying to get a three-peat, go back to the Super Bowl. You have the Ravens who have always dominated not only the AFC North, but they are a top contender in the AFC. These are probably the best two teams in the AFC, and dare I say, in the entire NFL.
Wow.
I mean, they're up there.
They're
definitely
really up
top
there.
5, and everybody should be scared of them.
Yes.
So in reality, do I want either team to win? No. But there's an added element since now we're playing fantasy football where now we have players that we want to do good. You know what I mean?
It makes it such a complicated viewing experience because we both wholeheartedly went in wanting the Ravens to win.
Yes.
Just because, like a lot of people, we don't want a Chiefs three-peat. Nothing against the Chiefs, but give someone else a chance, get our teams in there. So anyone against the Chiefs, we're cheering for them. Mm-hmm. But we did have a young draft pick that really we were rooting for the whole time. Well, you had 2, right?
across all of my leagues.
Wait, we're each in 4 leagues.
I will say I'm never going to do that again because
it's exhausting.
It is hard to keep track because now I feel like I'm just kind of rooting for everybody at some point, which is fun. But now I do feel conflicted and this isn't going to be the last time.
Yeah,
where I'm going to be having these conflicted feelings.
Yes,
in every single game. But no, it was such a good game. I think overall we saw both teams and some of their strengths like very early on. You have a lot of these new guys like Xavier Worthy, who I'm sure we'll talk about in more detail a little bit later on. I did want to see the Chiefs be a little bit more sloppy.
I know, they looked way too strong for game 1.
They were looking good. I know some of the commentators, they were saying like there were a lot of drop balls, but it wasn't just on the Chiefs side, although I do think that they had a little bit more. The Ravens did have a few drops as well, but they always say in the NFL, the first few weeks are always very up and down from team to team. Yeah. And I mean, it was still a really high scoring game, which was very exciting. There was a lot going on. I feel like the game went by fast. It wasn't one of those games where you're kind of like always on your phone and just like, is this game over yet?
It was so exciting.
It wasn't. Yeah. And all the way up until the very end, we had a dogfight.
It was, oh my God. Noelle could barely watch. So
If you want me to paint the picture of how it is watching a football game with me, these are two teams that I fucking hate. I was pacing back and forth in our living room. And again, it's because of that fantasy element. Yeah. And we're in 4, and I think 1 is probably the most that we care about, and it's our work league.
And it's a very prestigious, like, how many years has it been going? Like 8 years?
Since 2018, at least
6 years?
In the current doc that we have going. It may have even started before that, but 2018 was the
Yes. Very prestigious league. Lots of big football fans, very knowledgeable guys. Not to brag, Noelle and I are 2 of the only 3 girls in the whole league. So love that for us. They heard about the podcast. They said, like, fine, we'll throw them a bone and let them in.
But we had a strong start today.
We had we're emotional about it. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Champagne's actually a really bad beverage to drink on air.
This was a plan, wasn't it? I'm gonna keep drinking.
Yeah, just open all the bottles. But we had a couple guys. I know we'll get into it in a little bit. We had a couple guys that were playing tonight: Xavier Worthy, Derrick Henry. So we were super excited to see them have really strong starts in the game. We were cheering so much for our guys. But yeah, it was overall so exciting. It went by super fast, like you said. And yeah, Noelle, you would think that the Bengals were in the Super Bowl. Like, I can't even imagine what it was like watching that Super Bowl game with you. I don't mean to bring back negative memories, but like these 2 teams you hate and you're pacing and you can't watch and you're like screaming and jumping.
You know what's so funny about that Super Bowl is I was so drunk that I didn't actually finish watching the game.
Wake up and you're like, who won?
I woke up and I was browning out slightly at the halftime show. I woke up and Pete said, Noelle, wake up. The Bengals lost. And I said, you're lying. And then I started crying.
What a horrible way to be woken up.
Oh, it was terrible. My heart dropped a little bit.
That's so sad. But also Pete was like, also probably stressed, and he's like probably watching the final minutes of the game, like looking over and you're passed out.
Yeah. I mean, I think at that point, it was maybe like an hour after the game had ended and we had a party here at the house.
Oh,
so there were a lot of people that were gone, but there was maybe 6 or 7 of our friends that were still lingering, also drunk.
Yeah.
And we ended the night. I have videos of us singing "What Hurts the Most," and I'll have to play it on the video. Yeah. So, hopefully that's not how it ends this time, but the Chiefs are going to be a problem. And if they're looking that good and stopping the Ravens already so early in the season, then what more can you do?
And they lost by 7 points, which is the same amount of points that they lost the AFC Championship against the Chiefs last season, which I'm like, that is just like ugly. And this is about the time of the season where, episode 1, game 1, where people start saying NFL's rigged, NFL scripted, like rigged for the Chiefs. And it's giving scripted, I hate to say. It's a little bit too poetic.
100%.
I'm sus.
Yeah, I'm sus on that too. And maybe it's not exactly scripted. Like maybe we won't go that far. But something else that we kind of caught throughout the game was the refs.
Yeah. Should we get into our favorites and our player fumbler of the week?
Yeah.
And then we can
spoil it.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Do we want to start with our fumblers, start on a negative note, or start on a positive note with our favorites?
I don't know. What do you think? Let's go favorites.
Okay,
let's go positive.
Yeah.
Let's do positive.
Yeah. Okay.
You go first.
I'll go first. So my favorite was someone that I didn't even know his name heading into the game. So he really, made a name for himself, made a name in my book. And that name would be Isaiah Likely. Woo! Tight end of the Ravens. Again, he was not even on our radar when we were talking about the top list of tight ends to draft in fantasy football. But this man, he was everywhere on the field. Oh my God, it was unreal. He had 9 receptions, I believe, for over 100 yards. He had a touchdown catch. And when we talk about our, least favorite moments of the week, it was also another emotional moment for him. There was one moment towards the end of the game where he fully just fell on the side of his body, like hand, arm, shoulder just looked like it crunched underneath him. He's back in 2 plays later. Like we were worried that he was going to be out for the rest of the season because I did get a little bit too excited about him. And I was like, I've never heard of this guy. I bet no one has him drafted on our teams. So I did put in waivers in 3 of my 4 leagues to get him before the game ended. And I was like, fuck, I just filled out all those waivers and not filled out, just pressed his name. And now he's injured. So I'm so happy he's back. But I think that I hope I'm not being too eager in the first game. Hadn't even last season, I think he was mid. So I'm excited to see how he does, but really exciting night for him. And we were admiring his cheekbones. They're very cute.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. At the end of the game, we both looked at each other and we said, those cheekbones, look at his cheeks.
Talented and beautiful. Yeah. He looks like handsome Squidward. Yeah.
Better than that.
Well, like a handsome Squidward.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The best Squidward you can possibly get. No, I totally agree. We didn't really have this guy. We didn't know too much about him. And all of a sudden we start seeing him getting a few more touches here and there. We see him just dance along the sideline, get a touchdown. Yeah. It was great. I know that one of the tight ends that a lot of people may have on their radar, especially during fantasy, is Mark Andrews. He was kind of in and out all game, which was interesting. I kind of did a quick look on why he wasn't playing, and it said that he was in a car accident. So I don't know if they're resting him a little bit.
Poor thing.
But I am very curious to see how the rest of the season will play out, and if they'll continue to kind of share that role, or if they'll put in 2 tight ends because both of them are so good. So I love that pick.
I think it'd be really interesting to see that offense with 2 really good tight ends.
Love it.
It's not something we see often, so it could be very cool. And I do I'm sorry for Mark Andrews getting in a car accident, but I wonder if, they call up Isaiah Likely and they're like, hey, by the way, you're starting against the Chiefs. Maybe he's used to being the man in the shadows and he got his chance to shine. And I just really like when people seize their opportunity for greatness. And I'm just really excited for him.
I totally agree. And boy, did he do that.
He did it. So that's my personal favorite of the week. Hopefully we're talking about him more this season. Hopefully he gets added to all of my rosters. So I'll be keeping an extra close eye on him.
Good luck.
I don't think I have any other player 3 times on my roster. So suddenly he's my favorite player in the NFL. I didn't know him 3 hours ago.
But that's what the waiver wire and watching these games are all about. We can talk more about that. I think we're gonna plan on doing a fantasy kind of deep dive, maybe some tricks of the trades throughout the season for fantasy, right?
Yeah. And so here's your guys' first tip. If you still have the opportunity to get Isaiah Likely, he's probably not snatched up in your league. Put in a waiver for him.
Yeah, you never know. He can sit on the bench until he continues to prove himself.
I really hope the mic didn't pick that up.
I know. Okay. Sip of water. And then I'll go ahead and share my favorite of the week.
Please.
I know we've already I know that we have already talked about this man already a little bit. His name is Xavier Worthy. Ooh. Also, there was some controversy on how to pronounce his name. Xavier or Xavier.
Yeah.
Still a little unknown. the commentators on the TV were kind of going back and forth. But
they were saying both.
They were saying both.
The controversy was producer Pete told us we were wrong, and we told him he was wrong. So sound off in the comments.
Yeah, let us know if you like Xavier or Xavier.
I think it's both.
Potato, potato.
We should have him on the podcast and ask.
Yes, we need to know from the source.
He's the only one who could tell us for sure.
Yes, and he has been such a strong player, at least in this week 1 so far. My eyes, and we kind of have been doing some research on him since before the draft. Usually they have an NFL combine where they do a bunch of like physical exams to see how athletic and what their capabilities are as players before they get drafted. It helps them put them in the best position to be drafted. Xavier Worthy had the fastest 40-yard dash at the NFL combine, which had a lot of teams kind of perking up their eyes and ears. And of course, how did the Chiefs get him?
We don't know. Chiefs get him. Traded up with the Bills.
Please. And he's the fastest man in this rookie class so far. He had the very first touchdown for the Chiefs in week 1 in this game. He was so fast. There was nobody around him. I don't have the stats pulled up right now, but I can definitely do that. But he has already shined so much. The reason why he's also a favorite is kind of going back to our fantasy picks. The fantasy team that Brooke and I are in, we had him on the bench originally. And I remember when we were drafting, we were like, should we get Xavier Worthy? Like, he could be really good. We know Marquise Brown is injured right now. He's out. I don't know for how many weeks, but he will be having a little bit more of a bigger role than maybe he typically would. And maybe this game is kind of proven that he can continue to be like maybe a starter, maybe their wide receiver 2 or even 3.
Which is insane. The Chiefs were able to pick up someone that good.
It's
and
crazy.
when we were in the draft, we were like, it definitely wasn't the obvious pick. There were a lot of guys rated a lot higher before him.
Totally.
But, we've been watching him since the combine, like you said, and we're like, this guy, fastest man at the combine on the Chiefs. Yeah. There's no way he's not going to be good. So.
Yeah, exactly. They found their next Tyreek Hill, at least from week 1.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw that out there.
The Chiefs with Tyreek Hill Jr. It's not good for anyone else.
They can't be stopped, I fear. But hopefully that changes. But anyways, we're going to give our flowers to Xavier Worthy for favorite of the game tonight. He was great.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns tonight. He got one of the game balls. It's so scary that we're letting the Chiefs just get better and better. Like, if you think about it, if he wasn't in there getting those 2 touchdowns, they only won by 1 touchdown. So he was a really key part of that win. And so not only were we, considering whether or not we should have him on the team, Noelle had the great idea to put him in, and we got a lot of points for him. I wonder how many points he got for us.
Yeah, right now I'm just looking. He got 19.8, which is pretty solid.
Slay. That's way more than he was projected to get.
Yeah, it was like 9 or 10 maybe.
I'm sorry, but are we fantasy experts?
Stick around and you'll find out.
You guys like and subscribe and follow for more.
So that's my favorite.
2 breakout stars for our favorites. I love it. Yeah. So good.
And that's an exciting week 1 for me, Yeah.
I will say Lamar Jackson is just another honorary shout out. He got 25 points tonight in fantasy. And I think they said he ran for over 200 yards, which is like insane.
Yeah.
So he had an amazing game. He's like our favorite number 3, but we got to go for the little guys. We're excited for them. And Lamar Jackson, he's looking good. He is ready for another good season too. Just barely lost this time, but the Ravens are definitely a team to be watching out for this season.
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Fumbles of the week. You want to go first on this
Fumblers. One? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with Isaiah Likely's foot. His little toe.
His little toe, to be exact.
Yeah, his little toe. And don't get me wrong, I won't let this overshadow how great of a game he had. Sometimes when the cookie crumbles and it comes down to the wire, he couldn't have done a better job tonight. Let me just start with that. In the last play of the game for the Ravens to basically tie it up with the Chiefs,
5 seconds left.
Unfortunately, his toe touches the
out of bounds line.
Yeah, basically it was out of bounds. The touchdown didn't count. the game was over. But I'm telling you guys, the zoom in of the toe, it was barely touching the line.
It will haunt us.
It will haunt us forever.
We should meme that.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I feel like so many games with the Chiefs just end like this, where it's just always down to the wire. And sure, could that team that was trying to catch up to the Chiefs, could they have done a better job to put them in a position so they didn't have to, they didn't need to rely on that last play? Sure. But at the end of the day, it does make for a great game. And I think at one point it was maybe like 10 to 20, or maybe it was even more than that, 10 to 27. The Chiefs had a very clear lead. Yeah. And I was thinking in my head, man, is this just going to be a blowout game?
I know. But I'm scary.
But luckily, the Ravens were able to hold it down. And this also gives me a lot more confidence that a team can beat them, even if it's in the final moments.
Yeah.
You know?
No, like you said, they did have a chance to come back and at least tie it and give themselves a fighting chance at the end. Like they were around they were on the 10-yard line. There's maybe like around 10 seconds left in the game. Lamar throws into the end zone. This is the one that goes over Isaiah Likely's arm, and then he lands on his side. He gets walked off the field. I'm regretting everything I signed in my waivers. And then the next one, he throws another pass into the end zone. It's just like misses his guy who's wide open. It is so brutal to see. And then it came down to this play, 5 seconds left. They throw it. Likely is somehow back in the game. We missed the part where he was his bones just got sewn right back up. He's healed. He's catching this pass with broken ligaments and arms and fingers. He comes down. From how we're watching it on TV, it looks like it's a catch and it looks like he's in. And we are screaming. We're jumping up and down. We're like, okay, this season's going to be different. Maybe someone can beat the Chiefs. Like, oh my God, football is back in such a big way. And then they replayed it. Yeah. And then it was just, there was no getting around that little baby toe on the way.
There was not.
Which I'm sorry is a stupid rule. If your little toe is out by that much, you're in bounds.
I know.
I didn't like that at all.
I don't either. I mean, there has to be, doesn't make sense to me. But they can be beat. Someone's going to beat them.
Someone's going to beat them.
I have faith.
As soon as next week.
As soon as next week. That's right. The Bengals are playing the Chiefs next week, guys. So get ready for that Arrowhead. Yeah. That Arrowhead game. Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Swifties out there, please don't kill me, and Chiefs fans.
But yeah, we'll be reporting on a Chiefs loss next time we chat.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Absolutely. So yeah, that was definitely a big fumble moment for us right at the end there. My fumbler of the week is, unfortunately, I hate to say this early into the NFL season, but it's got to be the refs. The refs were pissing me off. They were calling, I think this was in the very first 5 minutes of the game, the first possession for the Ravens. They had called 5 penalties on the way that the O-linemen were lining up and just saying they were slightly off. I get it. I guess this is a problem. A lot of teams have been doing it and they're just not calling it. But it's it doesn't make excessive for a good viewing experience. I get it. You have to be consistent. If you call it once, you have to call it again, whatever. But at the end of the day, football is about entertainment. And if I'm watching a game and there's 7 plays and 5 of them have penalties on them and have to be redone, I was just over it. And to bring up the NFL is rigged thing again, it always is refs for Mahomes. And it's always these annoying calls and these last second, just really close games, always going to the Chiefs. And it's so great if you're a Chiefs fan. So happy for you guys. Happy for Taylor. Happy for all our friends that are Chiefs fans. That's amazing. Yeah. But it just sucks for everybody who plays the Chiefs because you come so close to beating what the best team is in the NFL now. And then it's you're just going to be haunted by, these moments. Not that those fouls were costing them the game, but the refs overall, they should have called that toe. The toe was out. Yeah. Unfortunately, there was something they could have done there. But I don't know. I just really hope it's not a season where, everyone's talking about it. And I don't want to sound like I'm saying the refs are rigging it for, I did say the refs are rigging it for, that's exactly what I said. But I know it's they can't call everything perfectly. You're going to get a lucky break. You're not complaining when it's your team. I get it. I'm just complaining right now because there's so many penalties. It was really annoying. Just let them play.
Please, please. And this, unfortunately, is going to be just a reoccurring theme throughout the season. I'm hoping they changed that, but just based off of this one game, whenever the Chiefs are playing at home, the refs, there is some slight favoritism.
There has to be. Yeah.
And the penalty that kept getting called was illegal formation. I've never heard of a penalty be called that on that so many times in one game. And it was in the first 5 minutes, like you said. I think
we were like laughing about it. Like how is this happening again?
Yeah. And I wasn't super familiar with that term before. I was like, I think it's if there isn't enough guys on the line of scrimmage and like.
Yeah. Something about the line of scrimmage.
Something about the line of scrimmage, or maybe there's too many guys in the backfield. But I feel like when I listen to some of these football analysts talk about some of these penalties, and whenever there's like a lot of stir on the internet of the refs are maybe favoriting a certain team, oftentimes they're like, penalties are always going to happen, and like that's just part of the game. But at the same time, sometimes it's kind of up to the refs in some ways.
Like maybe I won't call the fact that he was lined up.
It is
3 inches away from where he should have been. Like,
yes,
it's fine.
Yes. Are you really going to be so black and white, especially for a game like this and for a penalty like this? It's not like a physical penalty where you're doing like a personal foul on somebody else.
Yeah.
This is literally like how many inches are you to the line of scrimmage?
No, it's
and
the
that's so bratty.
It's so bratty.
That's so fucking bratty.
It's just so narky too. It's like, oh my God, just look away.
Yeah.
Like like you said, the personal fouls, the pass interferences. I always want to see those getting called, but like, I don't know. And maybe it's true that the hardcore football fans are the ones that are noticing in this and being like, hey, they're not lined up correctly, like call it. Most
maybe
of
they're
us
being more
aren't
strict, but
yeah.
And this is just like a foreshadowing of what's to come. Like you guys better be
maybe. Or kind
okay,
of like,
ladies, let's get into formation.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe they're like, okay, we're gonna not let this slide this season.
Yeah.
If that's the case and we see that more, sure. But if all of a sudden we don't hear this penalty all season,
rigged,
gonna be pissed.
Yeah, it's like they're making an example out of the Ravens. We'll see what ends up happening. But I mean, no players specifically stood out as fumblers. We picked refs and a toe, so that's always good.
Yeah,
no one really made me mad.
Yeah, there were a few drops on both sides of the ball. I think that some of the commentators were saying the Chiefs had quite a few. So, it's week 1. The guys are going to clean it up.
Yeah.
I think that the Chiefs had like one of the highest like fumble or drop rates last season.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So they definitely like released some guys that just weren't producing. But it does seem like even with all of those fumbles, somehow they're going to get those wins. And it pains me, but
they were looking
hats
really
off
good
to the Chiefs, I guess.
One more thing I want to bring up. I was trying to think of if there was any more moments of the game that we liked. The men on the sidelines. If you guys are like watching games, something important to keep your eye on is like, and I love this, it's whenever like the ball or players get tackled out of bounds or the ball gets thrown out of bounds. And then you have a lot of staff members that aren't part of the team. They're either cameramen, they're the water boys, they're, people that aren't suited up and they're just getting hit by players. They're getting hit by the ball and just seeing their reactions are so funny. Like there was one time where Mahomes was running out of bounds. He got tackled, a little fight broke out, but then you watch back in slow motion and who was the first one that was like trying to like start yelling and throwing a fight was like a fucking water boy. I was like, please, what are you doing? He's like, I'm gonna protect Mahomes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's a lot of funny moments on camera during these games, whether it's the water boys on the sideline or the cameramen. Of course, we saw our girl Taylor get lots of action shots. Her outfit was stunning.
How has it taken us this long in the podcast to mention Taylor Swift? Oh my God.
I was thinking about it when we were talking about like other moments. I'm like, oh my gosh, we haven't.
Yeah, we didn't mention the queen in the house.
No, we didn't.
After the breakup rumors, of course.
Yeah, of course she had to put that to bed. So we were happy that she did.
Oh, thank God. I would have started believing the breakup contract rumors.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't hear, apparently there was a released breakup contract between Taylor and Travis. His PR team came out and said this is entirely false.
Yep.
But I'm just kind of like, where does that come from? Is it just totally made up or is there any truth to it?
I don't know. Yeah. What are the documents?
I know. Let us read the documents and let me know the source. But she showed up tonight.
Yeah.
She looked so good. She had a jean corset on, little denim shorts, legs out, thigh-high boots. Red thigh-high boots, little Louis Vuitton purse.
Yeah.
Hair curled.
Yes.
Boobies looking amazing.
Perkin.
I was like, she got a boob job. Like Taylor.
That's what we love the corsets for.
She looks amazing. And you know who wasn't? At least that I saw in the box with her? Blake Lively.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Well, because we were talking about this at work. We were wondering if she was going to bring her bestie, Blake Lively, given all the controversy that's around Blake Lively.
Yeah.
And she didn't.
She didn't. I feel like she's going to be at some of the New York games if they ever are away. And we were talking about this, but she was at the Super Bowl. So, of course, she's going to go make a statement at the Super Bowl. I don't know if going to Kansas City, maybe week 1, it is a big game, but I'm sure with all of the controversy going on right now, like, to me, that would be kind of a bold move to go out in public. I'm sure nothing would happen to her, obviously, but I'm sure she just wants to kind of hide for a minute. Or maybe she doesn't, but I feel like I haven't like seen her out and about. And
I
maybe
haven't really either.
Yeah.
And I mean, like Ryan Reynolds now too is getting dragged through the mud, and he also is like really good friends with Taylor, along with their little bestie Hugh Jackman, and they were all at a lot of games last year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see whenever they do play in New York if they're showing up.
Yeah.
I feel like they will, but maybe Blake is like, listen, I don't want any of the headlines to be about me, but Taylor's always going to go out on a limb for her friends. So
such a good catch.
I need to stop talking with my hands.
I know,
like,
no, me too.
So many bottles.
Soon you'll hear a crash. It's all the glass. The TJ Maxx flutes.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the TJ Maxx glasses.
I'm gonna pour me some more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Refill time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was another one that we were keeping our eyes on. Overall, happy that Taylor was there. I'm happy that Blake Lively wasn't there. I'm sick of her for now. Obviously, I support whatever Taylor wants to do, but I'm feeling a little weird about that friendship at the moment.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you know who else I thought looked really good at the game?
Oh my God, who?
A few fits from the tunnel.
Okay.
Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson.
I didn't see their fits.
So Derrick Henry was in like an all black outfit. He was wearing, I think it was a Prada visor, black, Prada kind of like short button down shirt.
I love that.
Very classy. He was wearing jeans, but then he had a chain on, you know, like kind of like an emo scene kid.
Oh my God,
Like
we need to release these photos on the
Yes.
IG.
It
I want to
looks
see the
great.
Prada visor. That sounds cool.
It was really good. And then he had a Louis Vuitton little duffel bag.
Of course, they all do.
And then same thing with Lamar. He also had a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. It was a different color. I don't remember what it was off the top of my head, but he had a very like cool guy, kind of checkered, like lime green and cream colored jacket, like a light jacket.
Ooh.
He was looking very stylish. He was looking ready to play, almost like the color of your nails, actually, the olive green.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and like a cream color.
You mean I'm matching Lamar?
Yeah, you are. And that's your quarterback.
I love that. That is my king. That is my king. Thank you so much for getting me so many points. When you were talking about Derrick Henry, it reminded me how the refs described him as 225 pounds a man.
The commentators are so funny.
They are so
They're
unhinged.
good,
They were
you
like,
guys.
there's all, you know, this man is coming. I don't know. They were talking about how he made it through some blocks, I guess. And they said, it's hard to stop 225 pounds a man.
Yeah.
Or was it 250? Please hold. I'm going to look up
250. It was 250.
Oh, sorry. I'm
what
like,
did you say?
I
200?
said 225. I don't know where
No,
I got
it's
that.
250.
Okay. What's Derrick Henry weight?
Yeah,
I always
'cause
like to get
I think Pete said 250 is a lot of beef.
it's a lot of pounds a man. Wait. 247. You're right. I
Okay.
was trying to shortchange him.
Yeah.
He's like, please, I didn't work that hard.
225. I feel like that would be pretty slender, and he's a thick boy. And
Once
he
they get
runs
over
the ball.
200, I have no gauge for
Yeah.
what that's supposed to look like. I have no idea. 250 pounds of man.
Yeah,
That
we
should
love
be
it.
the episode title for this.
Who is it?
Guess who? Okay. Do we want to talk about what's next?
Yeah.
This weekend. Well, today's Friday. Happy
Yes.
Friday, y'all. We got a big game tonight. We got Packers, Eagles, and where? Brazil.
Yeah.
Got a Brazil game.
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo. We never get Friday games. So this is fun. I encourage you all to stay home and watch. Maybe
Yep.
go out to a sports bar. Maybe
Perhaps.
Barney's Beanery.
Do a shot.
Gonna be really fun. These are two teams that, you know, the Packers looked really solid last year. The Eagles have been looking really solid and then really tapered off at the end of last year and had a very disastrous finish. So I think this really means a lot, obviously means a lot for both of these teams and how they start off their season. So I know there's going to be a lot of eyeballs. I'm not that I was going to go if it was on the East Coast, but I'm like, why did the Brazilian people get it? We need it. We want the game.
I know for week 1, that's tough. And I feel like that's a lot of the push and pull of these international games is like people who have season tickets to go see their home team. They're like, but that's one less game for me to go see. But regardless, I get it. NFL's trying to make more money, more global presence. Maybe we'll go one of these days.
Anyone want to fly us out?
We'll do some commentary. We'd love
We'll
that.
do anything. What game are you most excited for this weekend?
So the game that I'm most excited for is the Niners versus the Jets.
Yeah.
And I believe that's a Monday night game, if
Monday
I
Night
remember
Football,
correctly.
baby.
Now, if you go back in time a little bit to last year, you may remember one of the first games of week 1.
Also a Monday night game.
Also a Monday night game. Aaron Rodgers carrying the American flag out on the field. And just a short few plays later, he's out for the season. But so many people have faith in this guy. So I need to see it to believe it if it's up to me. So I am very curious to see what that entrance is going to be.
Another American flag?
Yeah, is it going to be?
Oh, I don't know if it's at home.
We need to check if it's at home or at
Yeah.
I would imagine the Niners, since they did better this last season, and
It's
so they
in
have
San Francisco.
I'm gonna have to fact check that. But of course, we want to see the reigning NFC champs and how well and how good they're gonna play against the Jets. The Jets are positioned to have a really strong defense, and they always have, but now hopefully they can play some, complementary football where they have a good defense and they have a strong offense with Aaron Rodgers. And you have guys like Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. You may have some of these guys on your fantasy teams.
got both.
If you do, there you go. Shout out to those guys. They usually do pretty solid for points. And then, of course, the Niners offense. Every person that you have there.
Yeah.
You have Kittle, Debo, you have Brandon Ayuk,
Got
Purdy.
them on my teams too.
Of course, how could I forget CMC?
Oh my
You're
God.
gonna win if you have CMC.
Yeah.
Let's just throw
No, these are like the number 1 and 2 like fantasy teams, like big matchup.
big matchup. And CMC, if you have him on your team in fantasy right now, I think that there's some questionable,
A little baby injury.
Yeah, a little injury,
fine,
but
though.
I'm sure he'll be fine. Maybe he won't be, in the 25 plus range like he normally is, but it's going to be a good matchup. And, we're just excited. Football is back.
It's going to be so exciting. And I know a lot of people are saying that the Jets could be Super Bowl contenders if Aaron
Can't wait to
Rodgers,
see it.
at his ripe old age of 40, stays healthy.
You know what I'm going to be doing when I'm 40? Not
Gonna be in
playing
the Bahamas.
primetime football.
Not
But
touching an American flag ever again.
Yeah, but
Not
honestly,
writing a memoir.
that mentality to continue playing the game, props to him.
NFL players
does
are
it.
getting older. There's a lot of people, the NFL posted like entering their 18th year, 17th year, 15th year in the league. That is so crazy. Not that 40's old, but
No,
like
it's not.
to get beat up in that way for your profession and work out and just like push your body so much. I've already passed that point in my life.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine a one night hangover, but they just are actually getting beat up every single day, basically? That's tough.
So props to him.
Yeah.
We'll all be watching the game very closely. I'm super excited for that.
What about you?
My game that I'm excited to see. So one of the teams that I'm stoked for this season, the Detroit Lions.
We love them Lions.
I had so much fun watching them last season. They're just such a likable team, such a likable coach. Like they have so much talent on that roster. And I really wanted them to go all the way last season, but they're so close. I think their defense made some improvements over the offseason. They're looking really, really solid. They're playing the Rams, primetime on Sunday. So going to be, LA versus Detroit. And unfortunately, I have loyalties to the Lions on this one because my LA loyalties are elsewhere.
Yes.
So I am so excited. And we're both going to the Chargers game on Sunday. That's going to be so much fun. And then we'll have enough time to, go home and catch the game. So I can't wait to watch it. And it's always one of those two teams play each other too. It's a throwback, of course, to, last season when these two faced off. Was it the wild card round of the playoffs? And
Yeah.
the Rams lost by 1 point. And there's, of course, the tension between Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff and the battle of the quarterbacks.
Yes.
It's such a good matchup. Like the NFL knew what we wanted for week 1. And they fed it to us.
They sure did.
On a silver platter. And I'm eating it up.
We're eating it up. And what I love, and the thing that makes this game even more exciting is, of course, there is the battle of the quarterbacks. But Jared Goff used to be a Ram, and Matt Stafford used to be a Lion.
It's so crazy. Like, you couldn't write it any better. Like, these two guys switched lives. And are now, like, facing off against their old organization. Like, totally. Such a good rivalry.
And it is such a good trade-off because clearly they're doing better. Matt Stafford won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and Jared Goff is very close, and he seems like he has a lot of great players surrounding him. It seems like Detroit is really embracing him as a quarterback, and they really see him as a leader. So I love this. It's a great game. We're going to be watching, not from the sidelines, but from our televisions,
from the comfort of our home.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah, so excited for football this season. We are going to be recording, obviously, again next week. So I think we'll do some recaps of big moments of the games, pick some plays that we liked or some, matchups that were really close, talk about those. We're also going to do some fantasy content, TBD.
Yeah.
We've been doing some fantasy content on our TikTok. So if those of you don't follow us on TikTok, check it out. Girls Don't Fumble everywhere. Lots of informative stuff, if I could be so humble as to say.
100%. And our audience is definitely going to be those girls or literally anybody who is playing fantasy for the first time. And they're like, what's this app? How many people should be on my bench? Like, I only have one guy playing. Is that okay? Don't worry. We can cover all of that if you want us to, but we will.
Yeah. And let us know. Sound off in the comments if you have any requests for content, any advice you need, any team names. You want us to name your team? We're happy to do that.
Love that.
Submit your team to us and we'll name it.
But you have to Venmo us $5.
Yeah, it's going to cost you.
It comes at a price. No, I'm kidding. Anything for our fumblers.
Anything for the fumblers. Are you raising your glass to toast?
I was.
One final send off. I noticed the glass is hovering.
I was hovering. I was waiting.
Okay, fumblers, we love you guys so much. Football is so back. We're excited.
Cheers, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.